Technically, this is not the first video filmed in this series for you. It is the first one filmed in this series that's public, and for very good reason. You're 16 months old now. And it has been an adventure, a journey. It has been a beautiful, chaotic, stressful story. Your mother and I are exceptionally grateful and also still doing our very best to figure this out. I've had this idea since before you were born, but especially when you came into our world, to begin recording and filming a series of journal entries. I'd like to actually make them letters. I still have the thought of writing them out and having a book that I can hand to you, but I've never been very good at routinely keeping up with most anything, let alone writing and keeping journals. I've always been frustrated by my handwriting, and my spelling's fairly poor, and I don't have great grammar, but I can sit and I can talk in front of a camera. And so that's where the idea transferred to. Letters. Thoughts, stories, lessons, recollections of this journey that we're on. I filmed 3 or 4 of these over the past 16 months. My intention had and is still to do them at least once a week, if not eventually more. I haven't been able to keep up with that, and I could list a number of excuses, very reasonable excuses as to why, but at the end of the day, that's a failing, a coming up short that I don't want to look back on and regret. This video series, the same thing with your baby books and the photos and the scrapbooks that I want to build and create, and this video series is designed for a few specific reasons. And I went through these reasons in the other videos, and talking about them resulted in me sitting in front of the camera and crying and sobbing. And having a son, having a child, having a newborn is exhausting and exhilarating. It's the most wonderful, transformative experience in my life. And when you're a month out or a week out, it also comes with a ton of emotion. So I probably won't cry in this video. I'm posting these videos publicly, both because I think there's some merit, some lessons to be learned, some others who might share in the conversation, be encouraged to do this themselves. Someone's out there that want to do something and just don't quite know how or why, and they can join me on this journey. Posting weekly here will keep me a little bit more accountable, will give me a framework to follow, and hopefully result in me producing more than 4 videos in 16 months for you. So what's the point of this series? Letters to my son, letters to you. And I'm not saying your name specifically because this is made to be public. And we're limiting how much access you have to technology and how much access technology has to you. My hope for this series is that eventually, one day, when it's time, when it's necessary, when it's on topic, you'll be able to look back and ask questions to a version of me that is different and exists in a different place and time, a different state than the one that you'll know in 20 years. I'm sure I'll have some of the same ideas. And in my mind, I will think I'm the exact same person in many ways. And the challenges and struggles and frustrations in areas that I have fallen short, I am sure many of them will still remain. But I also hope that I'll be different. I hope that I'll grow and change. I hope that experiencing life with you and experiencing life with your mother and hopefully one day with siblings, I hope that helps me continue to grow and change and improve. And so when you have questions around topics that are difficult, and you're 16 or 17 or 20 or 25, when you're 50, and I'm not here to speak to you, I hope that I can create an archive that you can look back at that helps you understand me better, helps you explore the world well, and helps talk on things that are sometimes difficult to talk about in person, face to face. Lets you talk to a version of me that is a little bit closer to your age. Maybe one day even younger than you. While you navigate and journey and explore this life, talking to your 50 or 60-year-old dad isn't so interesting. But listening to your 32, 33-year-old father, maybe that holds a little bit more water. Maybe it carries a little bit more weight. Maybe the stories I tell and the experiences I have will be a little bit closer to the ones you're going through. A little bit more relatable, easier to understand. My mom died when I was, 11 years old, 10. And the scraps that I have from her, unfinished letters and family recordings that I just this year converted into digital files that the family could look at, pictures in scrapbooks, little notes in the calendar, little entries saying, today we're going to the pool, tomorrow we're going sledding, Jesse was sick this afternoon. Those scraps are things that I cling to in a way that even I don't fully understand. And the emphasis that I would place on asking Mom to make sure that scrapbooks were finished and that my baby book was fully fleshed out. Asking her to sit in front of the camera once a week and record stories and conversations and share with me her experiences. If I could have her actually write and finish the letters she was supposed to give us on our birthdays every year. She didn't make it the whole way through. Any one of those things would be so valuable. She knew she was dying. She had cancer, stage 4 right from the get-go, metastasized and spread throughout her body. I didn't know she was dying when I was your age. From the age of 4 or 5 to 10 or 11. Yeah, sure. She was bald and sick and maybe not as round as much as other kids, but I never noticed. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, or maybe they did a good job at sheltering us. I'm not sure. I'm sure I'll learn as you grow just how easy or obvious one of those two conditions is. At the moment, it seems like you pay attention to everything, and even though you can't fully communicate, you sure do your best. Granted, a large percentage of that communication is currently screaming, or the hand signals more, and drink, and food, and milk that we've showed you so far. she knew she was dying. And maybe that made it too hard to finish the letters. But in many ways, it also added to the value that they carried, to the weight and the necessity that should have been placed upon them. And she was aware of this. My mom worked with other women, started scrapbooking groups to try to get them to create things that families could have and could carry with them after one's life on this earth is over. And it's really easy to sit here and think that I'll just always be there. Why do I need to film a video with 20-year-old you in mind? Why do I need to film a video talking to you about complexities of life, the things that I struggle with, the mistakes that I've made, the areas that I'm inspired? Well, because it's not obvious that I will always be there. And it is entirely obvious that we are all headed in the same direction. We're all getting older. Life is filled with risk and danger, and that is one of the things that makes it so worthwhile and so valuable and so beautiful when a child joins you. But whether it's a time where you just can't quite hear what I'm saying, where hormones and frustrations and independent thought have taken over, or it's a season of life where I'm not there, I want to record and tell you the things that I wish they had told me. I want to create an archive of care, of protection, of guidance. I'm not quite sure. So, I filmed a few other videos. I'll have them organized and uploaded, private or unlisted, here on this channel. But I don't need to put out videos where I'm a bubbling mess. 16 months after is maybe a good time to start looking at the world through an emotional lens. This whole series is going to be topic-based conversations, things that I think you should know. And I'll try to figure out some type of organizational system, because the videos that I want 22-year-old you to watch aren't going to be the same as the ones I want 14-year-old you to watch. And so there'll be maybe a navigation. But that's the plan. I think I'm going to do 3 things in these videos, and these are very selfish videos. So everyone else that's watching or joining in or taking part, if it's not for you, it's not for you. These videos are for an audience of one, but posted publicly to both encourage me and connect me with a wider community that might echo what this someone is doing, and encourage me to actually pursue and create something that I want to make. So this is going to have a topic, a lesson, a thought, a discovery. It's going to have a story, a reference, a personal anecdote, something that tells you a little bit about your week or your day or who you're becoming. Like, for instance, right now you're across the street with your mother. She just got off a night shift at the labor and delivery unit. She's a nurse. And she is probably doing her very best to take a nap on the couch while she gives me time to sit and film and edit and upload and try to get myself organized and slightly caught up and a little bit ahead. And you're probably running around the room, chasing the dog, picking up and pushing pillows into her, which has become a new hobby. You might be fishing for dog food by sticking your hands through the cage or playing with your race cars on your Hot Wheels track we got you. You're also likely, every 5 minutes or so, running over and either pouncing on Mama or screaming and squealing, maybe bringing a cup over to get some cinnamon chips placed in it. Life is short and tight and stretched at the moment. We don't get as much time with you as we would like to sit on the ground and talk and learn and explore the world with you. But we're trying to get to a place where, when we're with you, instead of wishing that we could sit and take a nap while the other person works, we're trying to get to a place where when we're with you, all we have to do is focus on you. I don't know if that'll ever be the reality, but boy, it would be nice. So, quick little story of you. The other thing I thought I would do is read or pull some quote, some outside thing, something that connects or references or ties into either the main topic, the personal story, or just where we are right now. So I thought in this first video, I would read a poem that I'm trying my best to memorize, a poem that I try to read to you every time I put you down for bed. Although, you're not such a big fan of this book. You like Goodnight Moon quite a bit more, which will probably be in video number 2. And so you swap the pages or try your best to stop the progression of the poem. I don't know if it's because the pictures are a little bit more boring or if it's the cadence I read it in. I'm not sure. But Goodnight Moon definitely has a one-up on this. But this poem's called Spring Morning. It's by A.A. Milne, who's the author of Winnie the Pooh, in a book called When We Were Very Young. So, I'll read this, maybe leave you with a thought or two, and then that'll be a video. And we'll start this series officially and correctly. Spring morning. Where am I going? I don't quite know. Down to the stream where the kingcups grow. Up on the hill where the pine trees blow. Anywhere. Anywhere. I don't know. Where am I going? The clouds sail by. Little ones, baby ones, over the sky. Where am I going? The shadows pass. Little ones, baby ones, over the grass. If you were a cloud and sailed up there, you'd sail on water as blue as air. And you'd see me here in the fields and say, doesn't the sky look green today? Where am I going? The high rooks call. It's awfully fun to be born at all. Where am I going? The ringdoves coo. We do have beautiful things to do. If you were a bird and lived on high, you'd lean on the wind when the wind came by. You'd say to the wind when it took you away, that's where I wanted to go today. Where am I going? I don't quite know. What does it matter where people go? Down to the wood where the bluebells grow. Anywhere, anywhere. I don't know. I love this poem. It might be the best poem I've ever read. And it could just be because it fits the season of life I'm in, or maybe I haven't read enough poetry. I love that it's in a children's book. But it also contains so much meaning. Maybe we'll dig into it on its own at some point, but this beautiful picture of the things that are valuable, the sky and the grass and the flowers and the doves and the woods and the stream, the areas where if you end up there, what does it matter where you're going? You find yourself on a path or a trail. You notice flowers blooming. You hear the doves cooing and the high rook calling. What does it matter where you're going? if you have grass underneath you, sky above you, or even if you have sky underneath you and grass above you, that's good. It's awfully fun to be born at all. It's good to be alive. It's good to have life. And we do have beautiful things to do. It doesn't tell you what those are, but you do have them. And you should do them. It's worthwhile. I love the last paragraph specifically, because it feels so correct to where I am right now. I had no idea what it would be like to have a son. And I'm still desperately learning and struggling to keep up with all that it requires and all that it implies and all that it necessitates changing. All for good things. It's the most wonderful, valuable, incredible, chemically and neurologically transformative experience. I hope you set yourself on a course where having your own children is something that you desire and pursue, or it's something that you anticipate. Prepare yourself well. I wish I had you when I was younger. It would give me more room to have more. But man, I'm grateful you're here. And desperately afraid of losing you. Where am I going? I don't quite know. I feel like I ask myself that question constantly and have been asking myself that question constantly for the last few years. What does it matter where people go? It's like, is that even the right question to ask? Where am I going? I don't know where I'm going. But is that the right question? The right question might not be where I'm going. It might be, who do I want to be on the pathway there? What am I doing now or today? What have I done? Could be, where do I want to end up? I guess that's close to the same question, but it's a little bit different. The path you take there might shift and change, but if you know where you're aiming, maybe the destination's a little bit different from the going. I'm not sure. Where am I going? I don't quite know. What does it matter where people go? Down to the wood where the bluebells grow. Anywhere. Anywhere. I don't know. It's one of the biggest lessons that I think this video series will display. Just the degree to which I don't know is and remains the answer. So, at whatever age you're watching this, if you don't know, check and make sure you're asking the right question. Determine whether or not knowing is really required. And if all else fails, find your way down to the woods where the bluebells grow. I mean that, literally. The world that you're growing up in is chaotic and superficial and more cramped by technology and artificiality. I need to get outside more, and you need to get outside more with me. And there's 6 inches of snow on the ground right now, so neither of us are going to be doing that, but the summer's coming. And the spring before that, and the fall just after. And it'll be a good year. And I'll have a 2-year-old. So thank you for watching. Those of you that have joined in, stuck around, And if my boy's watching for the first or 18th time, I love you. And I'm so grateful for you. There's nothing in the entire world that would change those two things. I'm going to edit this video, get it posted, and then I'm going to go see you. Can't wait.